Here we go. Here's a how I do scenery little video here. So I've obviously sped this up quite considerably because the video was about half an hour long. So I'm using some modelling paste. Now this is a paste I get where you can get from like the big box stores. So it's not an actual, the artist, close quotes, paints paste, but it seems to be working quite well. So what I did was just put it down with those little palette knives. I felt like Bob Ross doing that, and then I came back along with a stipple, like a stiff head brush, and just sort of stippled it on there. So you can see I've masked up the areas where the Portaloo's going, and I'm just coming up to where the bulldozer's going there now. So I didn't want to put too much on it because I just sort of wanted a little bit to show gravel, not big clumps. So when I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, this looks like water. I wasn't really that happy with it. So I turned to a makeup sponge, and here's me doing with the makeup sponge, and that made it even worse. But I persevered with it for a wee bit here until I had a look. I just looked at it then, I was questioning my decision. So I tried different techniques, and it still just came up looking like rippled water. So that went straight into the bin. So I came back with my little brush and started all over again, just stippling it on, tried to use a different angle for my stippling technique. So basically trying to fix up the mistakes that I did with the sponge. That's all I'm doing here, really. So getting that all nicely put in. So I come back now with the brush, trying to get as much as I possibly can around where the tracks are going to be embedded into the gravel. So I made up a little jig. It was great in my mind. It didn't make up a lot. Look, you can see there's little lines there, but in reality, they went into the bin too, and out came the palette knife, which I should have actually done the first place. But before I did that, I got a paper towel and decided, well, I'll give that a go, and that actually worked out quite good. I just tried to keep it random. I mean, it looks like a bit of a pattern here I'm doing now, but it's just trying to keep it nice and random. So I was happy with that. And then I came out with my little palette knife and made little lines where the tracks are going. Now, if you see bulldozer tracks, they're not all completely symmetrical, and they don't, because they've got to turn. As they turn, they skid, generally. So they look quite good. It's going to look all right when it gets painted up. So I took away the masking tape for the Portaloo and the sump, and I used the palette knife. People are going to be cringing about that, I'd imagine, to rip up that. So that's where the bulldozer is going to sit. I did that because I didn't want the bulldozer to look like it's sitting on top of the earth, if you get what I mean. So, and then I came back with my stippling technique to sort of feather those edges of that where the masking tape was, so it's not so noticeable. And then I just went around and just did a little bit more. Looked at my brush there, and I was like, oh, wonder if I add a little bit of water. So I wiped it off. Put away my modelling paste before that got knocked over, and put my head in the road and got into put a little bit of water on the brush, and this worked out 10 times better. And I changed it to more of a horizontal thing, as you can see there. Just a bit of water, and then you can sort of see I just used the same water I used to wash my paintbrushes, which is probably not the best, but it looks alright. It's all going to get painted anyway. So just painted it on there. Well, stippled it on. Well, flattened it out, I should say. So I tried to keep this random as well. And this actually knocked it down quite a bit. I was actually quite pleased with this result, actually. It was actually starting to harden up. It's starting to get a bit more tacky. I found that if you try and... I came back and did a little bit of stippling just to random it up a bit. But I found that if you try to do the stippling or stuff like that, it just stuck to whatever you're using. It would just pull it up, and it'll look like waves and stuff. But at this stage, it's starting to get knocked right down. So I'm quite pleased with that. So we're getting there now, just playing around with it, just moving it about. The trick is to know when to stop. And just keep looking at it and thinking, oh. So I put my little bulldozer in there, and it seemed to be look quite good. So you'll see me chuck my little portalo that goes in there. It's going to look quite good.